writing a book for the last 2 years, and it's National Novel Writing Month 2017. It's November, and we write novels in November. So I've been on a break from writing. But whilst on this break, I've been expanding on the idea for my next book and like writing out character profiles. Getting excited about that. And my original plan was to use November to like bust out a draft for that. Something, some words or something. I don't know about you, like I hate outlining. That's why I flew by the seat of my pants on my first book. And that's why I had a gajillion words, and I don't want that for myself. I don't think it will be like that. But for the second book, I wanted to outline, and I haven't been able to make myself do it. Every time I go to do it, I start writing scenes, expanding on character profiles, or thinking of ideas for things that I want to happen, but I haven't been able to be like, let's outline! I hate it. I don't know why I hate it so much, but anytime I start to try to write, like, this is what's gonna, this scene, and then, like, what's gonna happen, I just start writing a scene instead. This next book, I want to write from 2 different points of views, and I'm just, like, playing around with how I want to tell the story, because there's like so many options. Like, do I want to do first person again, or do I want to try third person? But I find first person to be more fun. What are you gonna do, Christine? I don't know. So I was ready to jump into that. And then a note from Julia on book 1 started floating back to my mind. I did tell you about like how I was writing this last draft, like I had a deadline, and Julia came to me with this great note, and I started working on like integrating that note. Okay, that was like a small version of a big note, because the big note I couldn't even think about, because I was like, this is a restructure, and like while I like the idea, it's too much for me right now. I have a deadline. Like, I couldn't even wrap my head around it. And now that I've had a break, I've been wrapping it. You know, I've been just wrapping it, letting it wrap, and to the point where I'm like, I want to try to implement this. So what better time than now? I just started outlining like my book 1 book and restructuring it in this outline. There's a car alarm going off. I'm excitedly talking about my outline. Can you stop? It's not like changing the book, it's just restructuring some of the events. Now that I've thought about it a lot, I'm like really excited about trying it, but really to try it, I have to write it again. You know, I have to like restructure the things, like, and then go through it and edit it and stuff. And I think it might end up, you know, just naturally cutting words with this restructure, which is another plus. Are you doing NaNoWrimo? Are you working on a manuscript you already have and doing an edit? Or are you doing a new manuscript? I've got some questions from you guys off of Twitter. If you don't know, I'm at XTINEMAY on Twitter and Instagram. After this experience, what will you do differently when you write your next book? Well, like I was saying, I'm hoping to outline a little bit so that I won't have an excessive amount of words and have to cut it down like drastically. But also, like I said, I've been, you know, trying to and just writing scenes. When I start thinking about the scene and it starts blooming in my head, I don't want to like keep it in, you know, I want to let it flow out into the page. And that's why I am like a pantser usually. Once I start thinking about something, I usually just like the scene blooms before me and I want to get it on paper. Ugh. And writing scenes helps me develop the characters. It probably helps you too. Like, once you're writing them, you start thinking about other aspects of their personality and other parts of them that maybe you didn't think of before. So that's my goal. My goal is to have an outline for that when I really start writing it, and I don't have it at this point. So, I mean, maybe it's better that I'm going back to my book 1 right now. Gigi says, everyone says the first draft is garbage, but how garbage? Well, let me just show you something. When I first finished my first draft, I sent it to Julia because she's a master editor, right? And she printed it out that day because she works at a place where she has access to a giant printer. And just last week, I went to her apartment to watch Survivor. She was like, oh, here, wait, let me give you this. And it's a hard copy of my first draft. It's giant! Oh my god. And I'm like, I can't even look at it. I can't even look at it because it burns my eyes. Because it's the first draft and it sucks so hard. So everyone says the first draft is garbage, but how garbage? Like, it's gonna be the garbageiest garbage to you because you're your toughest critic, you know? And it doesn't matter though, because you need to start somewhere. If you don't have a first draft, then you have nothing. Then you're just imagining a book. Imagining a book is different than having a book. You wanna have the book, so you gotta write the garbage. It becomes garbagier as you go on. It like kind of starts to rot as you keep editing it. So when you go back to look at that first draft, it's like rotted into like a little crumbly ball on fire. But I have it as a souvenir. Gigi had another good question. How do you pick pick a place to start. And I think this is a good NaNoWrimo question. My best advice here, again, my book isn't published yet. I'm just a person who's been writing shit for the last 2 years. I think the best place to start is wherever you can see writing right now. Like, you don't want to sit there not writing because you can't pick a place to start. If you have a scene in your head, start writing it and go from there. Don't worry about it. Just explode the words. So just start wherever. And then eventually you'll figure out where to start. Alexander says, are there themes that you like to include in your writing, or do your themes just pop up as you write? And I think themes will appear as you write the story. They'll be in there and then you can strengthen them. You see that little baby plant pop up and you're like, yes, let's foster this theme. I like it. Isaac of Earth says, how do you balance writing, reading, and life? And my best advice here is to schedule yourself rigorously. If you really want to read and write, have an hour of reading time, an hour of writing time, or do half an hour writing, half an hour reading, half an hour writing, half an hour reading, so you get an hour in of each. And schedule it out, or else life gets in the way, laziness gets in the way. I work best being like, okay, you have to do an hour of writing today. So I will, no matter what, sit and write for an hour. That's how I do NaNoWrimo too. And maybe I'll go past an hour. If you're on a roll, like, keep rolling. But just make sure you get at least an hour in, and then that's a win for the day. As usual, I'm going to share a song from my writing playlist. Since I talked to you last, everything has been written to Mrs. Potato Head. It's such a waste when little girls grow into their mother's face, but little girls are learning how to cut and paste and pucker up their lips until they suffocate. Ha ha! Kids forever, baby soft skin turns into leather. Don't be dramatic, it's only some plastic. No one will love you if you're unattractive. Oh, Mrs. Potato Head, tell me, is it true that pain is beauty? Does a new face come with a warranty? Will a baby face make it better? I just was mesmerized by that song. You know what I didn't think about? I didn't do a thumbnail yet, and now my face looks like this. Thank you for watching. Oh, if you're going to Y'all Fest, which is November 11th, it's coming up. I'm gonna be there along with the Booksplosion crew, Kat and Jesse, and we are doing a Booksplosion panel meetup at 12 o'clock in Charleston, North Carolina. It's free. I'll leave a link in the description for more details on that. Please share your NaNoWrimo plans. I'm Christine. Thank you for watching. I make videos every Tuesday, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! Oh, Mrs. Potato Head, tell me, is it true that pain is beauty? Does a new face come with a warranty? Will it